good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to wherever and whenever you are in the world. This is Danny and
Rosie here.
from Rosie and Danny's Philippine Adventures. Between us, we have the dogs. Well, today we are about to go across the highway here and show you where we have been living for the past about 2 months. This is our gate here. As you want to say, it's never closed. And this is the path that we drove in. Yes, those are muddy puddles. And so every time we drove in here, we got the Fortuner really muddy and dirty. And it's bumpy. But hey, look at all the tropical plants for those of you from the West. Just like some of you guys that are down in Florida, or I think I have some family even down in the Caribbean. This was the house that we always saw when we first came in. And from there, we made a right. And yes, lots of bumps, twists and turns. We had a choice of 2 ways of going here, and it was always based on how much water and how much mud we saw. One of our little neighborhood dogs there in the distance. But it definitely, the only people that come in here are people that are coming in for their homes. On the right here, we have a little bamboo. You want to call it about a house? To me, it looks like it's probably about an 8 by 10 feet. And it's just a new young couple. Always very friendly, waved to us. They had a dog or two inside their little fenced area. And over here at the left, we have a horse that the owner decides throughout the neighborhood, wherever he wants to hook him, he just hooks him, even though it's not his property. And I felt really bad at times because he had him hooked really close to the road. And whenever you get close to him here with a Fortuner, especially a bigger vehicle, he was always really scared. And I felt really bad for him because he would practically break his neck trying to run away. So I tried to not go wherever he was. On here on the right, we have one of the neighbors with a little sorry store. And we have a gentleman right here that we always wave hi to and said good morning, good afternoon, and all that stuff. And there he is waving. Hey! And I learned Maayun Buntak was good morning. Maayun Hapon was sort of midday afternoon. And then finally Maayun Gabi was evening. So here we make that path goes to I have no idea where. And here we would make a left. And one of the neighbors here always had to pass through this truck and some cassava plants, I think. Always really tight. We got a neighbor walking down the street up here in advance. And a little sorry store here to the left. Right beside us with laundry. And there is where we stayed for the past, in that blue house right there, for the past 2 months. Next to it's a larger 2-story house, and I was hoping that we could have stayed there, but at the moment there was what we call a blogger from here in the Philippines. A successful blogger and his team were staying there. And wouldn't you know, when we went to find a new place to stay, after we signed the contract, we found out they were moving out. So that house is now empty, and so is the blue house, because we moved all of our things out of here to our new place. So here is our gate, and we have to unlock it. So my darling Rosalind, if you would take over the camera here, because I'm not going to be able to open the gate. I can show you what our daily routine was, and she can add on to anything she wants to say. Oh, and I always forgot to open her door. Okay, stay here, Willa. Mommy's getting out.
And here, there is a cassava. And this is my handsome husband, Daniel Kishel.
And my beautiful wife.
And this is how he opened the gate.
Every time we came in and out of the house. So we have the little gate that you can walk through. Come on, my love. And then a second key. I tried to get 2 locks that were the same, but over here out in the province area, it's not as easy trying to get 2 locks that have the same key. At least where we are. Okay. And open we go. Okay. Now,
There-
Chris was with us in the car. He would actually do this for us. And close up the gates. And though I didn't take any oil or WD-40 and put it on the hinges, I could have, so it didn't screech like that, make it sound like you're either in a dungeon or in the prison or something like that. But, now, once we had the gate closed, then we could open the car and let the dogs out. Come on, guys.
There.
Go to your old house. Yeah, here, let me get you with them. All right, man. Ah, there you go. All right, here we go. Your turn. Here, baby girl. Okay, I got you. All right. Woohoo! So that, and Prince and I cleaned all the mud out of here that was on the driveway because I wanted to try to have the clean concrete. But every time it rained, water would run because they don't put downspouts. A lot of places here, they'll have the guttering, but then it runs out. And on the bathroom back there, it would draw mud out of the back and come down here in the driveway. So no matter how many times we cleaned it, it got dirty again. But that's okay. All around the outside of the house, we first moved in. Not everybody. Just real careful with our trash around here. It's something, even if people in the U.S., decide to throw trash out of their windows, and that's why we have those fees and fines in the U.S. so it doesn't look so trashy. But here in the Philippines, when we first moved in, down the side of the house here, where there is weeds and grass growing, there was trash down through there. There was trash on the back side of the house. There was trash over here, so we cleaned all that up. And then right here, this was our burning plow. This is where we actually burned our garbage, food waste and things like that. We could throw in other places as fertilizers. Like oftentimes, what I did in the U.S. and some people do, they use it for compost. But anything that was really just trash, we'd burn here. Of course, clean that all up because we're moving out now. But the good thing is this. The house is much cleaner now than when we moved in. We moved in, we did a lot of cleaning, and so when we leave it now for the landlord, the next tenants will have a much cleaner place to go into. All right, my darling.
Yes, and right there we have papaya, our neighbor papaya. Not ours.
Yeah, you got it. All right, so here we go. Tour of the house. You come in the front door.
Okay.
And turn on the lights here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's right. I turned the power off. Give me a moment here.
This is our small place.
There we go. Okay, so this is it. This was our living room, dining room, all of that. We scrubbed some spots on the sofas that they had over here. There's still some spots on there, almost need like steam cleaner like we have in the U.S. They're not over here, at your local grocery store to rent or to buy. So Prince and I with a bucket and soapy water, we scrubbed as much of those as we could. But yeah, this was it. And this to me is probably about, I don't know, about 14 feet by 20 feet maybe. So this was it. This was our living room, dining room, everything room. It did have air conditioner, a little split unit up on the wall that we did use at times, which was nice, because not everybody's air conditioning here in the Philippines. This was Prince's bedroom in here. And what is here now is when we came in. I rehung the curtains, bought new brackets, but yesterday, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I came and checked on the house, got one more thing out of the house, and it turned out this curtain rod was ripped down because there was a cat trapped inside the house. And I'll show you where the cat got in. There's an opening between the two homes, between the white house and this blue house, and she gets up on the roof and goes in a hole and has her kittens up in the, we don't really have an attic here, but up inside the roof is where she has her kittens. Well, she fell down and trying to get out of the house, she ripped that one down. But before we moved in, there was a whole bunch of the curtains down, so we fixed all those. So for having done now just the one broken, which I'm not going to buy another bracket, again, because I spent money on the house, but I helped out, the landlord. And this was Rosalind and this was our bedroom. We again were blessed with a split air unit and a little closet unit right there for storage. And that was ours. And these are about, I don't know, probably about 12 feet by 12 feet. The benches were already here. And then this was our kitchen. In the Philippines, those of you, of course, Filipino and Filipinos, you know this. Kitchens are usually pretty small, except in your bigger homes. And so this was it. Had a little dish rack here, sink here, and that's all there is. You might say, where's the stove? Where's the refrigerator? It's not. From Rosalind's apartment, when I set her up an apartment, we had our little refrigerator sitting right here, which is a very small little unit, but yeah, that's where the refrigerator would go. And yes, there's no place to plug it in there. It's actually here on the backsplash. And stove, over here, we had a little propane stove. It was a 2-burner. And the propane tank sat right here, and that's where we cooked. So, simple? Yes. It was enough? Yeah. To get started over here, our bathroom, for those of you that are not accustomed to, come on in. This is actually unusual to have a tub. In the United States, of course, we have almost a bathtub in every single house, no matter how much money or how little money you have. The shower unit is typical, but oftentimes it would have been on this wall. But the basic unit, yep, it's nice that you have 3 different modes and then the faucet down below. But most Filipinos do not have hot water. This unit had a hot water heater, but I had to replace it. Turned out it was actually burned out. This is the old unit. And actually, I just ran the flexible hose right back into itself because this does not work. There's no use having it there. But I did install the old one so the wires were not exposed. The extra hoses down here that I bought for this when I put our unit in, and that unit cost about 4,500 pesos, roughly $100. But they didn't offer to say that they wanted it to stay, to offer that money and say, hey, keep the hot water heater there, we'll just pay you for it because you installed it. But they said, hey, it was yours, why don't you take it with you? So we took it with us. But that was our shower. If you see there's no shower curtain, there is no shower curtains. Oftentimes in these bathrooms, the toilet, the sink, everything, there's always tile or concrete on the floor. Now you don't want to worry about, and there is a drain. So in here, water can go everywhere. Now you're not spraying it up on the walls, but it goes everywhere. And to clean, come on in, Mom. In our bathroom here, we do have a place for toilet paper. Something that I had to get used to was using a bidet. This looks like, of course, something that we would use in our kitchens, in our sinks. But no, this you actually use on your bum. And you clean yourself when you're there on the toilet. And then you have, in here we had our hand towels and our face towels. We had our body towel that we use when we get a shower. And then over here we had our bum towel. So after you clean yourself off totally, thoroughly with that, then you use a towel to dry your bun. And so with that, to get used to it was different, but actually I now prefer it. Because every time you go to the bathroom, you are totally clean. Same thing as taking a shower anywhere else. It is a lot cleaner than toilet paper. Toilet paper, as you know, there's no way with it being super soft that it doesn't leave something behind. So I have now gotten totally used to using a bidet. And so with that, much more comfortable with it, feel much more clean. But it was just something different. Those of you that have traveled abroad, you know about that type of thing from different countries because there are different parts of the world that they use those. And so that was our bathroom. That was it. The place is 26 feet by 26 feet when I measured it, so about 676 square feet. But that was our home for 2 months. We were looking for another place, and so we now have a new place that we'll be staying. Sometime later, I might post that, and as we Might be having some people over to our house at different times to hold events. So, guys, that's the home here in the Philippines. Simple. When it costs us 10,000 pesos a month. And 10,000 pesos with a conversion rate, which usually runs anywhere, depends with the US dollar, anywhere from 54 point something up to 57 point something pesos per dollar. But roughly it turned out to be about $192. So for $192, this is what we rented per month. And really the only downfall of it, it is small, but muddy. Yeah, the vehicles would get so muddy when we drove out here. But we did have air conditioning, and with a hot water heater installed, we have a hot water heater. Kitchen's small, but what makes it all worthwhile is my beautiful wife behind the camera. So this is the smallest house I've ever lived in my life. It's the most simple house I ever lived in my life. But, that being said, why did I come to the Philippines? For her.
Thank you so much.
Why would I stay in the Philippines?
Sounds good.
For her. So, I am so blessed and so thankful. So, a stepping stone for us. The next house we move to, yes, it is that we're currently living. The cost per month has gone up. For those of you in the U.S., it'll sound like a small amount. To people here in the Philippines, especially out in the province where we are, it seems like a lot. Our new rent is actually 30,000 pesos a month. And with 30,000 pesos, that takes us up to about $545 a month. So for $545, it is substantially larger. It's a fairly large home here in the province. We are very blessed. And on my pension, yeah, we can afford that. And as you know, in the U.S., especially from York County, Pennsylvania, where I am from, $545 is not going to get you too much of anything. I don't think anything in the county. And in the city, you're not going to get a lot for $545 either. So the place that we are staying, a huge blessing. The dogs like it better, we like it better. And it's something that on my pension we can afford. So blessings of all blessings of our Heavenly Father. All right, guys. Let us know what you think, the place we stayed, and just life over here. Do you think you'd like to do it? Would want to do it? Especially when you hear that this only cost us $192 a month. Far less expensive than in the U.S. And we have local markets in Don Carlos nearby, and Maramag, where we get fresh produce. Storage, as you see here, there was not too much of storage anywhere. Even to have a pantry, to have anything like I used to have. So our grocery shopping is done every day, every 2 days. And so it's definitely back to more of the Lord's Prayer, give us this day our daily bread, because we buy things almost daily. All right, guys. Signing off from Danny and
Rosie here.
From Rosie and Danny's Philippine Adventures.
See you in our next video, guys.
Yeah! Bye!